Hello, and a very warm welcome to you. And if this is your first time being here, I am so delighted that you took your time to come to my channel or page. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. My name is Sterling Lips, and I believe that besides being authentically true to yourself, one of the other most valuable gifts you can give yourself is that of having the courage to stand up for yourself and follow your dreams. So I help people to unleash the power within themselves and stop wasting time or being afraid, but rather be true to themselves and start following their dreams. One of the main things that makes many people put their dreams on hold or on pause, and sometimes indefinitely, is the fear of saying no or changing their mind about things they feel do not sit very well with them. And some of these things are actually stopping them from making progress in their lives in the cause of achieving their dreams. However, it is important to have an understanding of why this comes about. Why are many people afraid to say no to things that happen to them or things that are stopping them from making progress in their lives? Why is that? Why are they afraid to say no or change their mind about things like that? I think in speaking to many people and in my own life experience, it's mainly because of three things. There could be others, but this is in my line of work and interacting with many people. The first of those is the desire to please other people, wanting to fit in and not wanting to disappoint others. You could say more or less like peer pressure. This will stop you on your tracks. You will be more of a yes man or yes woman with this one. So, the desire to please, the desire to want to fit in, the desire to belong, to be wanted, is common to every human being. We all desire to do that. But sometimes this very desire leads us to very wrong paths if you're not very careful. And that's why it becomes important or necessary for you to say no when that desire is calling you to something that's going to destroy your dreams, destroy your plans. You've heard of things like gangs. How does that go about? You know, a young man with a lot of potential gets into a gang. The peer pressure around, somehow he finds himself in this thing. Terrible choice to make. He could have said no, but he finds himself sucked in little by little, until eventually some of these young people are gone, tragically. On other occasions, people, just because of the pressure, they get into things that are not very good for them. Some people start smoking just because they're in an environment that does that, and they just can't say no because they fear to offend others. Start puffing a little here and there. This eventually leads them to be full-blown smokers, leading to diseases, lung diseases, and eventually curtailing their dreams, and they're unable to follow through with what they want to do in life. That's sad, isn't it? But it's important to recognize why sometimes, because it also helps you not start judging people. It's better to understand why are they not able to say no or change their mind. It's from the outside you look at it and say, wow, I couldn't be in it, but you don't understand the history, the background, why they're in there. So this is one of the reasons. The other reason is just lack of self-confidence. What will people think of me? That's the sort of thing that comes out. You are at the mercy of the court of public opinion. Everything you like to do, you think, oh, what will they think of me? What will so and so think of me? What will so and so think of me? So you get locked in, then you're afraid to say no or change your mind about something you've gotten into because you fear the ridicule of what someone else will say. I heard of a story of a woman, a lady, who in her third marriage, I believe. This third marriage was really very bad for her. The partner was very abusive. But she couldn't dare come out of that relationship. She couldn't dare change her mind and get out. Why? Because she feared or was so afraid of the opinion of other people. Because remember, this was her third marriage. I think she was just afraid that, what will people think? No, see, this is her third marriage. What's wrong with her? She can't keep a marriage or something like that. So she would rather endure the pain and suffering that she was getting in this relationship she was in than face the ridicule of the public or those who sort of knew her. So again, you can't just judge people when they're in terrible situations. It's better to understand why they're unable to come out of those difficult circumstances and situations. Another main reason why many people just find it so difficult for them to say no and rather be yes man or yes woman is a lack of financial security. No money, you're broke. What can you do? You want to survive. You'll say yes to anything to survive. So I think it's important that when people are finding it difficult to say no to something you clearly see and say, wow, I wouldn't stay there another minute. The circumstances are different. And like I say, if you are not financially free, you'll not be able to get on with your life because your priority is survival. And if you don't sort out your finances, this will be the story of your life. So those three things, and let's trace back and see how can someone come to a position that they have these three things so prevalent in their life that they are completely paralyzed from saying no to bad things happening to them, or changing their mind if they got into one and realized that, oh, this is a terrible deal. That kind of mindset or frame of mind doesn't just come suddenly like that. It takes time for you to find yourself in such a position. And if we look at it critically, you'll find that a lot of it has to do with your childhood, how you were brought up, the environment you grew in, who had influence in your life, how you assimilated the things that were happening around you. So that's very important to understand. So if you find yourself more often than not just saying yes to things that are hurting you, you better take a pause. Sit back and think about, why am I always saying yes to things that even sometimes it's clear to me that I shouldn't say yes to it? Why am I saying yes to it? You're so afraid to say no because you don't want to hurt other people. You want to please. You want to belong. Most of that, if you check, has a root in your childhood. I'm not saying it is the case, but it's just better to take some time to check it out. So that builds over time, and you find that, voila, you find it difficult to say no. You're tolerating all the nonsense that's happening around you. On other occasions, it's just that your day-to-day life, as you go about doing things, there's certain little annoyances that happen in your life, and it might have been happening all along, and you just shrug your shoulder to them. Someone says something nasty about you, and you just go on with it and say, yeah, okay. You know, you start tolerating those little things, the little annoyances, and eventually they'll culminate in you finding yourself probably in a relationship that is very abusive, partner who is so abusive, but because you've tolerated this all your life in little things that happen in your life, sometimes not related even to relationships, you just say, shrug your shoulder on it, and your dreams are on hold. So stop tolerating little things, annoyances that happen in your life, and just, shrug your shoulder over them. If something doesn't sit well with you, just say it. Because if you tolerate it, it builds that muscle of you just going along with the flow. And then eventually big things will happen, and you don't have developed the capacity, the muscle to say no, this won't happen. Another reason is basically you don't have boundaries. Your life is so open. Anything and anyone can come and go and sort of do, So you haven't got personal boundaries. But look, even your physical body, as you see it, has a boundary. Not everything around you will just get into your body, and there are designated areas and parts that things can get into your body and come out of your body. Your skin, the surface of your skin forms a boundary around your body, protecting your internal organs, and it's very important that you have boundaries. I could call these psychological boundaries or around your life, so that when someone tries to interfere, crosses the line you've set, you say, hang on, there and no further. You're a person of your word. You see? So, but if you don't develop this on a daily basis, eventually you'll start giving into things that are ridiculous and things that will sabotage your dreams. Another way that people find themselves eventually tolerating all this nonsense that happens in their lives and fearing to say no or changing their mind is that they themselves are talking so negatively about themselves. You see, the thing about self-talk is that you cannot help it. You will but speak to yourself on a daily basis. Probably from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You will be speaking to yourself. You can't help it. You can no more speak to yourself than you can stop the sun from rising and setting, or than you can stop yourself from breathing in and out. You will speak or talk to yourself. We call it inner conversation. And the trouble is with many people is that their self-talk is negative. They are saying terrible things about themselves. Oh, I will not succeed in this. I will not do this. I'm terrible at this. And so when someone else says something to them that mirrors their inner dialogue, they just confirm it and say, you see, I know it. No, you need to start having positive talk with yourself. How can you say terrible things about you? The scriptures say that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. A masterpiece, a handiwork of God. How can you speak negatively about yourself? And if you do that, how can you expect others to respect you and talk well of you when you yourself talk ill of yourself? So when you continuously engage in negative self-talk, it will be a matter of time when others will mirror that to you, just confirming what you're talking to yourself about. So you can do yourself a favor by determining a different direction of how you speak to yourself. I'll talk about that a little bit more in detail, but this is where people find that they start tolerating all sorts of nonsense that happens to them that sabotages their dreams. For others, it is because of the many challenges they've gone through in life, like the story of the lady I related to you earlier on. She's gone through one hell after another in relationships, really just bad choices she's made, and not to blame on her. We all do make some mistakes in life, but because she's gone through all of that, the little she can see the good in this relationship she's in, besides the beatings and whatever, the abuse that she can see something little that she wants to preserve that. Or in this other case, she did not want to feel ridiculed outside. But many people go through very challenging situations in life, and finally they get to one that seems a little bit okay, comparable to the others they've gone through, and so they think, wow, this is much better. So they'll do anything to hold on to that, to protect it, and so we'll be saying yes to even some outrageous things because they just want to have this good thing they think they have finally got. You see, so all those things eventually culminate into a person just saying yes, and being afraid to say no. Being afraid to say no. So, what is the solution? What is the way out? When you find yourself in a position or situation where you're finding it increasingly difficult for you to say no or change your mind about things that don't sit very well with you, but you don't want to live like that. You want to get out of that kind of life and start pursuing your dreams, start living a life of purpose. I think what you ought to do is to get to know you. And if I may just ask you this very simple question: who are you? Do you know who you are? Sounds a very simple question, but a very profound one. The question of identity and purpose are very critical and important in helping you be assertive and follow through to achieve your goals, your dreams, your desires. So, who are you? Do you know who you are? This is a question I asked myself many years ago. You know what I've talked about before, that category. I used to be one of those people who used to do things to please others, who desired to belong so much, so would say yes to things that would sounded so ridiculous, but because of that inner desire I had to belong and to feel wanted, not to be rejected, so you just get on with it. But I didn't like that, so I sat down one time, and this was quite very early, for me, I would say, in my early 20s. I just sat down and asked myself a question that, hang on, look, I did not ask to come to this world, did I? Here I am. Yeah, I have this life now. I'm living. But I don't ever remember choosing my parents. I don't remember choosing where I was born. I don't remember choosing the race to which I was born to. I don't remember choosing my gender. I have siblings. I don't remember choosing the siblings I have. I absolutely had nothing, as I can recall, to do with me being here. And now I am here. And I have a Christian heritage, Christian background. In my Bible, it says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. If this is true, I believe I'm no accident. You can't make something fearfully and wonderfully and then just for no purpose. So I recognize that and I say, there is a reason, there's something I'm here for. I'm gonna find it out. I'm gonna find it and then do it very well. That was one of my first epiphanies, my first realizations of something more profound than just this body called Sterling. But also, I understood that before the eyes of God, all men are equal. Those two realizations and revelations led me to dig a little bit deeper to understand who I am, what my purpose is. And it helped me come out of that place of darkness, of wanting to please, living to please others, wanting to just do things to belong. So it's very important you understand that you're not just this physical body. You are far, far more than that. That will be the genesis of you coming out of this predicament, of this situation where you find it difficult to say no or change your mind about things. So, get to know yourself. Dig deeper. The scripture says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's one of my most favorite scriptures in the Bible, because I understand intrinsically that transformation is a never-ending thing. It's an ongoing thing. I think it's Brian Tracy who put it this way, that there is no limit on how much better you can become. And since there is no limit on how much better you can become, there is also no limit on how much better your life can become. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you need to be at the forefront of transformation, renewing your mind, being enlightened, understanding who you are from every vantage point, and accepting yourself. Being authentically true to yourself. When you do that, saying no to things that don't sit well with you will be a piece of cake. Not that you're arrogant, but you just understand what is good for you. You'll respect others, the other people's positions, but you will not allow nonsense to be happening around you. That is really key. Understanding yourself, understanding who you are, getting to know you. Take some time every day to get to know you. You're trying to get to know everybody else, and to be in everyone else's good books, but are you in your own good books? Do you know yourself? Do you understand you? Do you know what makes you tick? Do you know what makes you cry? Do you know what your strengths are? Do you know you? Is my question. And the deeper you get to know yourself, the more comfortable you will be with yourself, and the more assertive you will be as well, and you will not tolerate nonsense, or you'll not be saying no. You will be very assertive. You'll be outgoing, respectful. You respect other people's opinions. You'll not interfere with their lives, and you wouldn't want anyone to interfere with your life as well. And you'll be a much better, finer, and refined person. So that's number one. Get to know yourself. Work on yourself every day, and there is no end to it. You are a complex being, fearfully and wonderfully made, as the scriptures say. And you move from one level of glory to another level of glory until the time you depart this earth physically. So never stop growing, never stop transforming your life. So that's the first thing. That's the number one way out of this predicament, so that you can start following your dreams and doing things you love and care about. Renewing your mind. And the other thing is speaking well. Like I said earlier on about not talking negatively to yourself. Start speaking positively to yourself and about you. Let me give you an example. When you eat food, physical food, that food eventually becomes one with your body. Whatever is wasted comes out, but the one that is taken in becomes part of your body. You see, this physical mass you have. The food you ingest and eat on a daily basis undergoes some processes and becomes part of you, so that if they dissected you, forgive my medical analogy here, if they dissected you, they will not find the food you ate maybe a week ago. It's all gone. The wasted part has come out, and the part that was useful for your body is now one with your body, inseparable. That's why they say they can identify people with what they eat. If you eat junk, your body will show it. If you eat nutritious food, your body will show it too. And it is the same in the psychic level, with your mind. What you put in from what you hear, but more importantly, what you tell yourself, you will eventually manifest that as well. So when you speak ill of yourself, when you speak negatively of yourself, this eventually will show up in your life. It will be mirrored back to you. So why don't you do yourself a favor and speak positively of yourself? Even if it doesn't seem true by the time you start speaking it to yourself, eventually, just like the food you eat, that according to natural laws established, those things will become true of you. If you speak them and truly believe them, they will become true of you. It might seem ridiculous at first when you start doing so, but eventually it becomes true. In the scriptures, they say that such things are foolishness to those who don't understand them. It's spiritual realities they are, you see. So let me give you an example. I say this to myself almost on a daily basis. I like myself. I love my work, and I am the best at what I do, and I am wonderfully remunerated for it. Money is constantly circulating in my life, and I use it wisely, judiciously, and constructively. Money flows to me freely, joyously, and endlessly. And all my needs are met in divine order at every moment of time and point of space. And I have all sufficiency in all things, and I abound to every good work. I am rich, I am wealthy, I am a strong decision maker, I am confident, I am courageous. Divine law and order govern my life through divine love, and I live a marvelous life. It is well with my soul. I am at peace, and it is well with my soul. So I speak like that to myself. When I started doing that, it seemed so ridiculous. But you know what? It's becoming more and more of a reality of my life. I'm experiencing the things I'm talking about. You know, when the scripture says that certain things are foolishness to others, there's some spiritual realities are foolishness to others. This I think one of the areas it is. Whatever you believe with feeling becomes your reality. And this is not theory, this is a fact. I've experienced the things in my life, and many other people I've had the honor of listening to, studying, say the same thing. It is true. So start speaking positively of yourself. Say good things about yourself. I think it's Tony Robbins who say you do incantations. You know, you participate. Your whole body and soul participates in those things that you affirm. So speaking positively of yourself, getting to know who you are, and believing in you. Those are important things that will strengthen you to start pursuing your dreams, to doing the things that you would love to do, and enjoy this short time you have on this earth. You know, Miles Monroe said that the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because many people put their dreams on hold, did nothing with them, and took those dreams with them to the graves. Many people took a lot of inventions, a lot of books they would have written, a lot of wonderful things that could have come out of them. But because they did not pursue their dreams, they put their dreams, their goals on hold, eventually they went. You know what? Bless humanity. Bring those things that have been deposited within you, bring them forth, and bless generations to come. It will be a disservice to future generations for you to go with all that has been placed within you. So have the courage. Understand you, get to know you, and bring forth those things that are welling up within you. They are welling up within you. Bring them forth and bless yourself, bless your family, and bless future generations with what you've got. On other occasions, the way forward out of this, if you are really in a very, very difficult position, that you literally, your mental health is affected, is that you find someone trustworthy you can speak to, who can guide you and give you some counsel, or you can even go and get help professionally. If you're suffering, if you're in a situation that you're just a yes person to every bad thing that happens to you and you don't feel good about it, go get some help. Speak to someone you can trust, or a counselor, someone who can counsel you. You can do that. You'll be doing yourself a good favor by doing so. And we said again that, one of the reasons why many people find it so difficult to say no is that they are broke. They're not financially free. And with this one, you can start where you are, especially if you have something coming in, to start managing your money very well. The issue of lack of financial freedom is not so much that you don't have money. It's more a factor or an issue with how you manage your money. Some people, money is like water to them. It comes and just flows, doesn't stay. There's no holding power in their hands. There's so much in that. Their lifestyle is one that does not support what they want to do, and they are suffering because of it. And I'll be the first to raise my hand that I was in a position like that. So no judgments here. Money is important. The Bible says that money answereth all things, but also cautions us that the love of money is the root of all evil. But make no mistake, if you don't have money, your life is gonna be totally different. So it's important, this thing of money, that you really get your head around it properly. I had to do that. And thank God I don't have those worries like I used to about money. Financial freedom, and if I may just qualify the word financial freedom, it's not about being a millionaire, billionaire, and all of these things. That's wonderful if you have that. But there are many millionaires and billionaires, well, millionaires I would say probably, but there are many people who call themselves so rich who are not financially free. Let me give you my understanding of financial freedom, and I'll take it from the scriptures. It's not categorically said this way, but this is what I believe to be financial freedom. It's about having all sufficiency in all things and abounding to every good work. You don't have no money worries. You have no debts. The moment you have a debt, you owe somebody. That person, one way or the other, has a stake in your life. I've heard of businesses that generate multi-million pound or dollar revenues, but they are so tied to the banks that when the banks like cough, they get a cold, if you know what I mean. They just go, wham, gone. You can look at history archives, you see such wonderful, sort of what we thought wonderful businesses and people we thought were very rich, but they were all hemmed in, debt and all those kind of things, and they just lose it like that. So financial freedom is having all sufficiency in all things and abounding in every good work. You can afford little things in your life. You can afford to live a comfortable life. You can afford to go for holidays. You can afford to get things that you want. No one is coming knocking on your door asking, come on, I need my money and all of these things. You don't have this kind of worries. You're able to help other people as well. So I think it's very important that you choose to manage your money very well. You need to learn how to budget. You need to learn how to just handle your money very well. I have in one of my books called Power Time, there's a chapter I've dedicated on this issue of money because I think it's of such importance. Money is good to have. It helps you a lot. It helps you, it enhances your freedom. Your freedom is basic. The freedom to be who you are, to be true to yourself, is one of the most fundamental and basic freedoms anyone can have. And if you lose that freedom, there's no other freedom that can have any meaning to you if you cannot be truly and authentically you. But money helps you and enhances that freedom, all the other freedoms that you ought to have. Okay, your basic freedom of being authentically true to yourself and living your life the best way you can is, like I said, is your basic and most important freedom that you should never give up or give out or relinquish it to anybody. So it's important that as you live your life on a day-to-day basis, whatever source of income you have, you make sure that you look after your money very well. If the money you're earning does not match the lifestyle you have, don't go into credit to support that lifestyle. Try to find another source of income, you see. So I'll talk to you about this in another discourse, specifically focused on money, because I think it's such an important topic. I know it for myself, for my life. I know when the times when I didn't have money and the times that I have money, what difference it is. So for sure, money is an important thing, and I think you need to manage money well. That's the bottom line anyway. That's it. So if you are financially free, you find it easy to say no. No one will be messing about with you. You'll not be saying yes to things that are so outrageous and out of the blue just because you want to survive. So start working on your money, financial freedom, to be financially free, not your life being dictated by somebody else who has lots of money. You see, secure your own financial future. That, I think, is very, very important. So, in closing this discourse, and I thank you very much for your patience. You've been very, very patient. In closing this discourse, I want to encourage you to be authentically true to yourself. Find your purpose or purposes and pursue them. Transform your life by renewing your mind on a daily basis. Have appointments with yourself to get to know you better. You are such a wonderful, wonderful being. If you only knew who you are, get to know you. It will do you wonders. Don't take the opinion of others to be who you are. Discover yourself for yourself, and it will radically transform your life in a much, much wonderful way. But have the courage to say no or change your mind about things that you feel do not sit very well with you. It won't happen automatically. You need to work towards that end. And I think a very important story, I think that would somehow help illustrate this points I've been saying here, is the story of the Prodigal Son, which can be found, I think, in Luke chapter 15. If you're not familiar with the story, it goes something like this. There was this rich man, and he had 2 sons. One day, his younger son came over to him and said, "Dad, Father, give me my inheritance. I want it now." The father graciously gave him his inheritance. Though it was not yet the time for him to receive his inheritance, the father graciously said, "Okay, son, here's your inheritance." So he took his inheritance, packed up, and left. And I would imagine that this inheritance was monetary in a way, because of how the story unfolds. So he went to another country. Whilst there, he had a blast, as they call it, enjoyed himself. And I'm an accountant, chartered accountant. That's I trained as a chartered accountant, and I understand that when you spend what you call in the profit and loss account, when you have expenses, money going out, if you don't have money coming in, sooner or later you'll have problems, and you'll go to negative equity. And this is what happened to this young man. Eventually the money ran out, and the survival instinct, of course, kicked in. He needed to survive, so he needed to find a way to survive. So what did he do? He went and found work, looked for work around, and he got one. He got work which involved looking after pigs. So he was doing this work of looking after pigs. So one day he was seated and feeding the pigs. And he felt hungry. He wanted some food to eat. And he felt like eating the food that the pigs were eating. Well, here in the Western world, pigs are looked after very well. But my recollection or understanding of a pig's life, especially from Africa where I originally came from, is that pigs like mud, dirt, all sorts of, leave them to their own devices and you see what kind of things pigs do. So he was looking after these pigs. So as he was contemplating eating the food that he was feeding the pigs, he came to himself. He said, hang on, and I'm just paraphrasing this little bit. Hang on. The servants in my father's household have enough food to eat, and I'm here wanting to eat this pig's food? No. This is what I'll do. I will go to my father and I'll say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and earth, and I'm not worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants, so that he could return home. So that's what he did. He got up and went to his father. Meanwhile, his father all the while was always looking out to see whether his son would come back. And on this particular occasion, when he saw his son from a distance, he was so elated, so happy to see him. He celebrated. He was so happy. And as his son came close, before he could even utter the words he wanted to say to his father, he embraced him, hugged him. Oh, father's love. And said, hey, look, this is my son. He was lost. Now he's found. He was dead, but now he's alive. Come on, let's celebrate. So he ordered that the clothes his son was wearing be taken out. They put a robe on him. They, let's have a fatted calf prepared for him. I think he gave him a ring, saying that you belong here. You're my son. This is what his father did. And they celebrated that he had come back. The parables that talked about in the scriptures are very rich, and there's a lot you can draw out of them. In this parable, you could talk about the relationship of God the Father to us as we are known his children. But what I take out of that parable is this. Your father, your true authentic self, never deserts you, never leaves you, never forsakes you. This express self the way you live your life, the life that you live out, this express self can do all sorts of things, can get lost, can sort of seem even destroyed in a way, but your true authentic self is always waiting for you to come home. Come home. Come home. And that's why I say it's important that you understand who you are. You get to know who you really are. The Father in you, your true authentic self, is always waiting for you. However much you've gone down, however much you feel you cannot say no, that your true authentic self is very powerful, very, very able, can do amazing things, just waiting for you to come home and be reunited with him. So don't be afraid to say no or change your mind about anything that doesn't sit well with you. If you have to, you gotta develop or gather the courage to do that. And not just go on living your life sad, just feeling that it's not worth living. No, you're here for a purpose, and you need to live your life to the full. Bless yourself, bless your generation, bless your family, bless those around you with the wonders that are within you. But you cannot do that if you're always succumbing to saying yes to things that can sort of put those things on hold, sometimes indefinitely. Those wonderful things in you on hold, sometimes indefinitely. And I also think that the reason why many people find it very hard sometimes to say no is that their focus is on the bad side of things when you say no. Oh, I'll lose this, I'll lose that, I'll lose this, this, I'll not belong, this one will reject me. So their mind is buzzing around those things all the time, the bad things. But look here, whenever you say no to something bad that's happening to you, you are at the same time, albeit inwardly, not maybe verbalizing it, saying yes to something else as well. When you say no to being treated like trash, you also at the same time saying yes to be treated with dignity, with love. When you say no to someone taking advantage of you physically, financially, or emotionally, or otherwise, you're also saying yes to be treated with respect, with courtesy. Whenever you say no to something you feel doesn't sit well with you, you are also at the same time saying yes to something much better, something wonderful, something good that you want to see happen in your life. What on earth is wrong with wanting those good things in your life? Wanting to be treated justly, wanting to be loved, wanting to be treated with fairness. What on earth is wrong with that? So when you focus more on the bad things, then you will not say no to things that are being done to you. But when you say that, hang on, I think it's much better to be treated this way or to experience this. So I'm going to say no to this because this is what I want. When you say no to eating with pigs or eating pigs' food like the Prodigal Son did, you are also saying yes to eating a fattened calf. You're saying yes to eating at the high table. You're saying yes to being where you belong. So I have a lot. It would take a long time talking all about the things, but I think you appreciate how important it is that you be authentically true to yourself. Have the courage to say no or change your mind about things that don't sit very well with you. Because if you don't, you're putting your dreams, your aspirations, the wonderful things that God has put in you on hold, and you're not benefiting anyone. You need to rise up and be truly authentically you. Pursue your dreams, bless humanity, bless your generation, and be great. So thank you very much for taking time to be here today. You've been very patient. I appreciate that. And if this message today has touched you in any way, leave a comment. Write something how it just touched you. Send me a message and I'll be sure to get back to you. And you can also subscribe to this channel or follow this page. There's a lot more that will be coming along in these various discourses that I'll be giving here. Things that affect our day-to-day life, to inspire you, to unleash the power within yourself, and realize truly who you are and live your life the best way you can. So subscribe, follow this channel. And finally, there is a book I've just recently written called Power Time. It's subtitled Stop Wasting Time or Being Afraid and Start Following Your Dreams. And the very first chapter of that book says follow your dreams. And in it you'll learn a lot. If you're somebody who has put your dreams on hold, I believe if you read that chapter, it would really help you. You can find it on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type my name Sterling Lives on the search bar and look for the book called Power Time, or you can just search Power Time on the search bar. It will really help you. So thank you once again. Blessings to you, and speak to you next time. Be sure to take good care of yourself. Bye bye for now.